Do you know that most people completely misunderstand the dynamic between an empath and a narcissist? We're taught it's a battle, a toxic dance where the empath always gets drained and the narcissist always wins. But what if I told you there's a certain type of person, a super empath, who flips the script entirely? They don't just survive the narcissist. Their very presence, their calm, their absolute refusal to play the game, is the one thing a narcissist can't stand. It's not about revenge, not about fighting fire with fire. For a narcissist, being truly seen, and then, even worse, being met with complete indifference, is a form of torture they just can't handle. Think about it. A narcissist builds their entire world on a shaky foundation of external validation. They crave attention, they need control, and they live for the reaction they get from you. They'll love bomb you, devalue you, gaslight you all to get a rise out of you. They want you to chase them, to defend yourself, to get mad, to cry. Any reaction, good or bad, is fuel. It proves they exist, that they have power. And for a classic empath, that's a tough game to win. You feel their pain. You want to help them. You get caught up in their stories, and you end up feeling exhausted and used. But the super empath, man, they're playing a whole different game. They've been through that toxic cycle before. They've done the work, they've figured it out, and they've realized the secret isn't fighting the narcissist's fire. It's removing the oxygen. A super empath doesn't get pulled into the drama. They don't take the bait. When a narcissist tries to get a reaction, the super empath just doesn't give them one. That silence, that calm, that absolute lack of emotional response is what freaks a narcissist out the most. It's like they're yelling into a canyon and hearing no echo. And this is where we gotta talk about Carl Jung. A lot of people see that picture of him and think, what's a dead Swiss psychologist gotta do with my ex? Well, believe it or not, Jung's work on the shadow and the persona is the key to understanding this entire dynamic. See, a narcissist has a huge, unintegrated shadow. That's the part of themselves they hate. The insecurity, the shame, the emptiness. They push all that deep down and create a flawless, larger-than-life persona to present to the world. They project their shadow onto everyone else, making you feel insecure so they can feel powerful. They're constantly running from their own inner emptiness. But before we continue, I'm offering you a free ebook to thank you for supporting the channel. Download it now and begin your journey towards self-discovery, dream interpretation, and shadow work. The link is on the channel page. Okay, so a regular empath gets tangled up in the narcissist's projections, but a super empath has already faced their own shadow. They know their own darkness. They've done the work of integrating it into their psyche, so they don't have to carry the narcissist's baggage. When a narcissist tries to project their shame and insecurity onto them, it just bounces right off. The super empath isn't looking for validation from the narcissist because they've found it within themselves. They're grounded in their own reality, not the fake one the narcissist is trying to build. Let's break this down with some real-life examples. Imagine you have a boss who's a classic narcissist. They take credit for your work. They belittle you in meetings. They make little passive-aggressive comments. A regular empath might get upset, want to confront them, and then get gaslight into believing they're the problem. But a super empath? They're going to acknowledge the comment with a simple okay and go back to their work. They're not going to engage in the back and forth. The narcissist's attempt at control is met with a brick wall of indifference. It drives them crazy because they can't get a reaction. They can't manipulate someone who isn't emotionally invested in their drama. Or what about in a dating situation? A narcissist will tell you you're the most amazing person ever, then suddenly go cold and give you the silent treatment. They're waiting for you to get anxious, to double text, to beg for their attention. That's how they know they have control. But a super empath isn't going to fall for it. They're going to see that for what it is, a manipulation tactic. They'll just go on with their life. They'll hang out with friends, go to the gym, watch a movie. And when the narcissist finally comes back and asks why you didn't freak out, you just calmly say, "Oh, I was just busy." That lack of panic, that lack of neediness, is the ultimate rejection for a narcissist. It shows them that their power over you is non-existent. The beautiful irony here is that the super empath isn't doing any of this to be mean or to torture anyone. They're just living their life authentically, with strong boundaries and a healthy sense of self. They've realized that their time and energy are sacred. They're not going to waste it trying to fix someone who doesn't want to be fixed. And in doing so, they become a living, breathing mirror for the narcissist. The narcissist looks at them and doesn't see a victim to exploit. They see a calm, self-assured person who is a reflection of everything they are not. It forces them to look at their own emptiness, their own unhealed wounds. That's the real torture. It's the silent, unrelenting truth that they've been running from their entire lives. This isn't about being cruel. It's about self-preservation. It's about realizing that you can't heal someone else by setting yourself on fire. It's about being strong enough to walk away from a toxic situation and not look back. It's about building a life so rich and so full that a narcissist's petty games don't even register on your radar. So, when you hear about how a super empath tortures a narcissist, remember it's not some grand revenge plot. It's the simple, painful reality that the narcissist's tricks are useless against someone who has found their own inner strength. The game ends when you stop playing. And hey, I want to know what you think. Have you ever seen this dynamic play out in real life? Maybe with a family member, a friend, or even a past relationship. What's one boundary you've had to set that a difficult person just couldn't understand? Drop a comment below and let's get a conversation going.